I love cymbals, man. I love cymbals. Look at this thing. Look at it! Man, I love cymbals so much that I actually get upset when I see drummers mishandle and abuse their cymbals. It also makes me a little sad when I see drummers just not getting what they can out of their cymbals. So let me ask you a question. You hitting your cymbals right? I see a lot of drummers out there hitting their cymbals, which is just fine. What I don't see is a lot of drummers playing their cymbals. And there's a difference. So today I'm going to give you some tips on how to get the most expression out of your cymbal as you can. Now, the way you have your cymbals set up will have a lot to do with your ability to be able to take advantage of the full range of dynamics that you can get out of one crash cymbal. The reason that's important is so that you'll be able to approach the cymbal from all kinds of different ways comfortably, right, to get the job done. So I learned a long time ago, as far as cymbal height, I try to keep all my cymbals no higher than the shoulder height. So everything you can see is a nice even landscape across all of my cymbals, and this allows me to hit them however I want to hit them, nice and comfortable, keep my elbows fairly sort of relaxed and tucked in, and I can do whatever I want with these at any time. Now, in terms of hitting your cymbal, the first thing I really want to talk about is volume, all right? I used to work in a music store, and I can't even begin to tell you how much it used to tick me off, man. We would get dudes coming in, bringing in these warranty cymbals that they picked up like 6 months earlier with these giant chunks taken right out of them. And I would look at these cymbals sometimes and just think, how are you doing this to a cymbal with a piece of wood? So the thing to remember about volume when hitting your cymbals is that beyond 70%, this isn't going to get any louder, all right? So if you're smashing and smashing and smashing away, it's just a bunch of wasted energy. You can hit these things at around 70%. You'll get the full volume out of it, plus all the dynamics that you want. Trust me on this. You'll get to hear everything that cymbal can do with one hit if you know how to hit it right. So I'm going to show you 3 different approaches to actually hitting your cymbal, starting with using the stick, first of all. Generally, there's 2 kinds of approaches that I have when I'm striking a cymbal. One is just kind of from up top, so like up and down movement, and the other one is more of a swipe from one side to the other. So one is, I guess, sort of a palms down approach, and then the other one, palms facing this way kind of approach. So, you can think of it as German grip and, I guess, French grip. So, starting with the setup, again, trying to keep them under shoulder height, give it a slight tilt towards you, and that's the perfect height for you to approach it at whatever angle you want to approach it. So, I'll show you the palms down thing. Keep it nice and relaxed, and I'm just coming at it from up top, and I'm hitting my cymbal. I'm sort of swinging the stick from here, like I'm not using too much arm at all. And when we sort of control that whip, you can hit that cymbal at the perfect volume, get all the volume you need out of it. So with the cymbal set up at that angle, I can approach it with the shoulder of the stick, boom, contact right there, and that's perfect. That's like the sweet spot. Whether you want to go up and down or swipe side to side, shoulder of the stick, boom, right on the edge, perfect sound. Approach number 2, the thumb is more over top, like that. And I'm glancing at it either this way or that way, depending on, what I'm doing, where I'm coming from, whatever. But it's a nice sort of slice, boom, from side to side. Beautiful sound. Now, getting the perfect angle using a traditional grip, it's probably going to take a little bit of practice if you're just getting new, if you're just new to this grip, I should say. But same idea, man. With traditional grip, cymbals at a perfect angle, feels just as comfortable with either grip that I'm using. And I'm just this is the angle I'm kind of hitting at it here. So contact, boom, right there. And a nice sort of kind of halfway point, kind of halfway up and down, halfway glancing. But it's just a nice sort of comfortable angle to hit it at. And again, same amount of volume. Now let's talk about swells for a minute. When you're playing ballads, those worship songs in church, I tell you, man, ain't nothing like a perfect swell in the right spot. So my approach to playing swells, again, I use the shoulder of the stick, but for those nice, dramatic crescendos and stuff like that, decrescendos, whatever you want to call them, I start, like if I want to go from 0 to 10 and back to 0, my stick is actually moving on the cymbal. So I'm playing on the edge of the cymbal here, and then I start at the taper, all right? So with both sticks, I'm starting at the taper, and then as I want to increase the volume, I move the sticks up like that to the thicker part of the shoulder. So one big thing that I should mention, your hands need to be developed, all right? You need to be able to play a decent single stroke to get a smooth swell to minimize the actual accents with each stick. You want a super smooth swell, right? So you start with a light touch around the taper, and then just start real light, and you just lean into that cymbal as you want to bring the volume up. Now there's another cool effect that you can get on your crash cymbals, especially if they're set up at the right height. But there's a bell effect that you can get with your cymbals. You might have seen, like if you've seen any extended Dave Weckl solo, sometimes he'll finish off with some nice bell work at the end of the solo. But that's not really hard. It'll take you a little bit in the beginning just to get used to doing it. But it involves turning the stick upside down and then hitting the very edge of the cymbal, like dead on, like that, all right? And it looks cool too. Like it looks cool from the audience when you do that. But when you get it to the point where it's comfortable, then you can move around and hit all your cymbals wherever they're pointing, right on the edge. Now, another important tip that I want to share with you guys about your crash cymbals, consider the thickness of your felts. You can actually choke your cymbal out a little bit with thick felts on there. So when you buy a brand new stand, it comes with those super thick felts on there. One thing you might want to consider is just taking one of those felts, ripping it in half, put the other one aside, and then just sandwich your cymbal between the two halves of the felt. What that's going to do is allow just more freedom of movement in that cymbal. So when you hit it, it's going to be able to breathe and move freely so that you can sort of capitalize on the resonance and the sustain of the cymbal. And then one last tip I want to share with you guys that's going to allow you to sort of take advantage of the full range of dynamics on your crash cymbals is to learn how to play them from right here, all right? Too much arm movement will reduce the amount of dynamics you'll be able to get. So, you want to be able to, again, go from 0 to 10 whenever you want, whether you're swelling on one or crashing on one or whatever. So when I'm hitting my cymbals, whether it's up and down or whether it's a side swipe, most of it is happening from right here. And this is important because you can really, like I said, get that huge range, drop of a dime whenever you want. So when you're in the middle of a ballad and you really need to take it up a notch, you can do it while staying comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And then you can go from a monstrous crash to just a nice, sweet sizzle just from right here. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with exaggerated arm movements and stuff like that if that's how you're playing. You know what I mean? If you're in that type of band, there's lights happening and all that kind of stuff, explosions in the front, whatever. Arm movement is fine. All I'm saying is don't hit your cymbals from your arm. Move your arms all you want. But, if you're still able to whip it from the wrist, like when it comes to hitting the cymbal itself, if you're working from the wrist, then you can get all of that crazy, extravagant movement, but still be able to hit your cymbals so that you'll never put a crack in one. So there you go, man. Just a couple of things to consider when you approach playing your cymbals. I just wanted to share some ideas so that you can get the most out of your investment. Good cymbals are expensive, man. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure you get your money's worth. So before I go, man, I just really want to give a smooth shout out to all of my patrons out there supporting the channel. You may have noticed this video might look a little bit different. Thanks to the support of my patrons, I was able to pick up a couple of new lenses for the camera. I've been messing around with them all weekend, consulting with a couple of professional friends of mine for advice. And yeah, I had a fun time, man, shooting this video. This channel is here for you guys. I'm just trying to make it better, especially as we're approaching 100,000 subscribers. A couple of months away from that. So, I just wanted to step my game up. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you share it if you dig it. Go ahead and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Welcome any new subscribers if you just discovered the channel. Drop a comment below, man. Let me know if you like the new look. Like, subscribe. See you next video.